We as a nation are now facing the consequences of the decisions made by government and the ruling class. I've always said that the ruling class don't have our best interest in mind. But don't take my word for it. Lots of folks that are much smarter than me are telling you that we have given up our freedoms for a sense of security. And now that the dust is starting to settle, we find ourselves with neither. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now that MIT and Harvard have both acknowledged that these draconian measures that have been taken over the last 18 months or so have not only not really helped overall, but have stripped our freedoms. And most Americans have given it up willingly for a false sense of security. And this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. This may not be a prepping video, but trust me, it is a prepping video. Because without freedom, ladies and gentlemen, we have nothing. Preparedness is about freedom. It's about preserving your sovereignty, your willingness to be able to make your own decisions, your willingness to be able to live via the consequences of your decisions. I thought that I'd go ahead and share this article with you so that you don't have to listen to me. A lot smarter people than myself are now telling you. Over the last year and a half, one of the largest power grabs in the history of the world has taken place as fearful citizens willingly surrendered their rights to the state for the promise of safety. Everything that this nation is about has been given up in the last year and a half. I'm not saying by everyone, of course not, but by a lot. And that is worrisome. But that safety never came, and it never will. But what did come was a slew of arbitrary and often ridiculous mandates and decrees from politicians who think that the government force can stop a health crisis. Despite the economic devastation, draconian lockdowns that kill countless of small businesses, passports, and mandates, this health crisis has returned. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, they already knew this was going to happen. Our economic system, not just in the United States, but throughout the world, is on its last leg. And they need to continue to do everything that they can in order to tug us along, to confiscate from us as much wealth as they can. Remember, in the beginning of this, the largest power grab in the history of the world has taken place. In the last year and a half, billionaires have become immensely richer, whereas the middle class has been decimated and the poor class has gotten larger. People are getting ready to be evicted from homes and have no roofs over their heads. And who do they look to? That same entity which put them in the place that they are now. Open your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. How can you look to someone to help you when that someone is what made you be where you are now? How can you look to someone to help your business when that someone is who took you out of business? How can you look to someone to help you get a place to live when it is that someone who took away your ability to have a place to live and provide a roof over your family's head? How can you look to someone to provide you with funds that they steal from other people when that someone is the reason why everything costs more? Wake up, America. We still have a chance to regain our liberties without things getting extremely bad. But people need to wake up. Several studies have shown that these lockdowns were not effective. In June, we reported on the study from the National Bureau of Economic Research, which analyzed data from 44 countries and all 50 states. The study from NBER found that these restrictions not only failed to save lives, and greatly exacerbated the destruction of the working class, but have in fact resulted in an increase of excess mortality. At the end of the day, they cost more lives than they saved. And this is a study done by smart people, ladies and gentlemen. This is not me. This is not the 2-year college graduate who has an associate's degree in just general education. Pretty much I went to high school for an additional 2 years. This is from people that do these studies for a living. This is from PhDs. An MIT scientist reported a data analysis of the economic impact of the lockdowns, noting that while it played a key contributing role to the sharp rise of unemployment, it did not make a significant reduction in the loss of life. You understand that, ladies and gentlemen? This MIT scientist, all right, MIT, one of the most prestigious universities in the world, okay? If you want to listen to a politician or a mainstream media pundit, or you want to listen to a scientist, that is what he or she does. That is what they do. That is what they dedicated their lives to doing. They've dedicated their lives to actually doing the real research and the science instead of reading off of a teleprompter. Who do you want to listen to? They reported that what they have done to the nation and the world has resulted in more loss of life had they done nothing at all. And in June, a Harvard University study reiterated the fact that while this policy did not save lives, it decimated the economy. I've always stated, and I've been stating this for years, and you can look back in my videos, that the plan is to eliminate the middle class. The plan is to have a 2-tier system, one with the haves and the other with the haves not. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, we need to prepare as best we can, so that when they throw the gauntlet at us, we can have those things that we need to survive the crisis and hopefully to thrive when we come out the other side. And ladies and gentlemen, all of this that's been happening in the last year and a half to our economy and to our people, all of this that's been happening has been happening at the same time while modern robber barons, as they call them here, such as Zuckerberg, Gates, and Bezos, so their portfolios expand exponentially. And this was yet another report, this report that was put out by Harvard, that did not receive any national headlines from the corporate media. Of course not, ladies and gentlemen. The corporate media is not paid to tell us the truth. The corporate media is not paid to give us the facts. The corporate media is paid to propagandize us into believing what they want us to believe, or what their masters want us to believe. Wake up, America. On top of the sheer despotism brought about by Team Lockdown, government spending has reached historical levels, and the already unsustainable nature of such irresponsible fiscal policy has been fast-tracked to complete meltdown. In my opinion, it's going to melt up first, meaning that those stocks and those equities, they are going to zoom to the stratosphere as the prices of everything that we need to live go right along with them, zoom to the atmosphere. But then, ladies and gentlemen, when the dollar finally crashes, the prices aren't going to crash down with the dollar. They're going to continue to go up as the dollar goes down. So prepare. As the government prints more money, your savings are devalued, forcing more and more people to lean on the already stressed system. Exactly what they want. They want a dependent class. Remember that when you are dependent upon someone else, you have given up your sovereignty to that someone else. When you need a loaf of bread because your children are starving, you are going to give that entity which is offering you that loaf of bread whatever they ask for, because your children are more important to you than your liberties. What is the tyrant class planning next? Well, more of the same, it seems. To be clear, no one here is claiming that this health crisis is not serious, and neither am I, ladies and gentlemen. We all know, here in the YouTube community, here in the prepper community, we all know people that have come down with this illness. We know people that have passed away from it. You know, we all know Howie, rest in peace, who passed away from it. It is real. But as these reports that have been done by Harvard and MIT stated, the loss of life due to the actions taken by government upon its citizenry has been greater should they have taken none and allowed the country to get through this instead of being tyrants. But that's what government is, ladies and gentlemen. Government is force. That is all that government is force. That is why we no longer have a republic in practice. This may be a republic on paper, but not in practice. And democracy, as we've all found out throughout the last several years, not just the last year and a half, democracy in one way is the worst form of government, because it allows the 51% to tell the 49% how they will live their lives and how much of their labor they are allowed to keep after a hard day's work. Granting government tyrannical powers in the form of business closures, mandates, passports, and other lockdowns is most assuredly not the answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much what they're saying here is that good ideas do not require force. If something out there is needed, the people will actually get it. But those that do not want it should not be forced to get anything they don't want. That is freedom. What's more, the data analysis illustrate it is difficult to tell the difference between places which had strict lockdowns and mandates versus ones that did not. Do you understand what they're saying here? It is difficult to tell the difference between places that had strict lockdowns and ones that did not. And the only difference that you can tell is that the ones that did not, their economies are still doing well. The ones that did, their economies are destroyed. You can't tyranny your way out of a health crisis. But you can health crisis your way into tyranny. Sadly, Americans have a short memory when it comes to giving up their freedoms for a false sense of security. When a society surrenders its liberties to the state never gives it back. Do you all remember TSA? Remember when the TSA came about? Are they still at airports? How many bad guys have they obstructed? I remember reading or watching a video. I think I read an article and watched a video. It was a news clip. And this was several years ago, where the Department of Homeland Security, I believe, they went out and they purposefully tried to get in through the TSA, through the checkpoints in an airport, with things they weren't supposed to have. Well, the TSA was able to intervene in about 5% of everyone that tried to get in. So 95% of those that got in with something that was not allowed to be brought into an airport got through. But here, we still live and pay for TSA, ladies and gentlemen. We are like cattle to these people. And they continue to say, because Americans have such short memories, we are once again yielding our freedom for the perception of safety. And just like the government has done since September of 2011, they will hold on to those freedoms and refuse to give them back. And I'll finish it off with these last 3 short paragraphs. Now is not the time to idle and hope for things to get better. As Rand Paul said earlier this month, we are at a moment of truth and a crossroads. Will we allow these people to use fear and propaganda to do further harm to our society, economy, and children? Or will we stand together and say absolutely not? Not this time. I choose freedom. The definition of freedom is not safety. You want to go to the safest place on earth? Go and commit an atrocious crime. Because you will be put in an 8x8 jail cell where you will receive full medical, full dental. You can have eyeglasses if you need eyeglasses, all for free to you. You will receive 3 squares a day. You will receive 1 hour a day of exercise, and you will be very safe, but you will have zero freedom. Freedom comes with risks, and it is up to us to assess those risks and make our own choices. Governments cannot eliminate risk, and only tyrants claim to be able to do so, as it gives them complete control over your life. Will you be one who chooses freedom and assess your own safety, or will you continue to believe in the totalitarian fantasy that is the government creating a world without risk? And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the choice is ours to make. I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear what I just said. You know why, though? Do you understand why a lot of people will not like what I just read? Because, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people live in a state of what is called normalcy bias, and they don't want to hear the truth. Having said that, thank you very much. I hope that you made it through, and I hope that you take a look at this article and read it for yourselves and understand exactly what it means, ladies and gentlemen. Without freedom, what are we? Without freedom, what are we? Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have a chance to win one of 10 of these beanies, they don't have the AP logo on them, but they look like this. They were made so that we can give them away to those of you that would like to donate to our next charitable cause, which will be homeless veterans. If you would like to donate to that and have a chance to win one of those beanies, go ahead and make a donation to the link down below, which is Buy a Coffee for Charity. Every single penny that goes into that account that has been donated will go to our next donation, which will be something having to do with homeless veterans. All right. Other than that, have a great day. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I am Alaska Prepper, and I am out. God bless.